Hey everyone, it's Henry, and in this video I want to talk about my journey to becoming a successful trader. And that journey was a very long one, and I had a lot of pain and struggles along the way. And I want to make this video to encourage you and motivate you and let you also know that wherever you're starting in your option, your investing journey, wherever it is, if you have 2,000 or 5,000 or wherever you are, that it's a process. You really want to stick to that process, and if there's pain and struggle along the way, that's totally okay. Because for me, I grew up with basically nothing. It was not that fun growing up because my father couldn't pay for the electricity bill, so we didn't really have heater or air conditioning, and my parents were immigrants from the Soviet Union, so they came without, knowing English. So it was very hard to grow up. I didn't really have any nice clothes, or, honestly, it was kind of uncomfortable because I couldn't even eat the right foods. It was just like bread, milk, butter, eggs. It was just very simple lifestyle, and it was kind of hard growing up. And I had a big dream of finally getting, more financially free, having the ability to, kind of be like my friends, have a vehicle, get to school without having to take a bus. I had to take a bus for 2 hours. I went to Central High School, Philadelphia. It was a very long commute from where I lived. It was like 45 minutes in the morning, and then on the way back, it was basically 2 hours because, I didn't have any money. So I had to take the bus home, and it wasn't that fun. And along this journey, I just want to say that, if you're struggling, that's okay. If you're broke, that's okay, because I was broke until I was even out of college. I was still kind of broke because, being a college student, I didn't really have a strong income. I did have internships. I had an internship at Goldman Sachs, had an internship at PNC Capital Advisors in Philadelphia, and then I also had an internship at Group 1 Trading, which is an option trading company. They're based in Chicago, and I was working on the New York Stock Exchange, and that was really interesting for me. And the whole reason I even went into finance, originally I went into college as a biology major. I wanted to be a doctor or something in the medical field because I really wanted to help people. I really hated to see people with like debilitating diseases. For example, my father has issues with his knees because he plays tennis, and I really hated to see that, so I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. And then quickly I realized that that type of field wasn't really for me. It was a very long journey, and to be honest, that journey is also not the best financial journey. I wanted to make money fast. I wanted to have income so I can, live a better lifestyle. So I didn't have to keep eating, basically for me, it was just Chipotle every day or cooking something very simple at home. For me, Chipotle was basically a luxury. Going out and eating anything was a luxury because I had no money for the longest time. And, when I finally got an internship on Wall Street and I started making 20 bucks an hour, I pretty much tried to save all that money, and it was not easy living in New York City. So although $20 an hour isn't too bad, especially if you're young, it is hard to save that after taxes. And if you're living in New York City, that is not that much money. So I was putting some money away, and that's when I started to actually trade. So I started to learn about option trading because that was basically my job. And I saw that these traders were making sometimes $13,000 a day, and that just blew my mind. $13,000. I couldn't imagine making $13,000. There's so much that you can do with that amount of money. And for me, I couldn't really believe I would ever get there. I had all these doubts. I had all these internal beliefs that, maybe I'm not smart enough to be successful at trading, that it's going to take a long time and that I need a lot of money. And all of those were actually not true. I started with $2,000 and I started investing in safe things. I didn't really know what I was doing. So at first, my returns were very volatile. It kind of upset me because all the money that I made that summer, I ended up losing in the market. My first 2 years of trading were absolutely awful because I didn't really know what I was doing. Although I did switch over to finance, and at Drexel I started to study more finance, started to read a lot of books. I didn't really understand how to make consistent income. Okay, I was still kind of in that gambler phase. I was still trying to buy call options, buy put options. I was just trying to make a quick buck. I was tired of, Chipotle was cool, but when you eat it every single day and that's your only option, or basically making something really basic at home like a simple sandwich, kind of gets annoying. You want to be able to kind of live life a little bit more. And I was really, really jealous that people that went to my college were able to go study abroad. I had a friend that went to Hong Kong, I had another friend that went to Europe, and I had never been outside the country at that point. I have never really been outside of my city, Philadelphia. I just kind of grew up there and lived there my whole life and couldn't really travel, didn't have any money, didn't have money to, do anything, not to go to restaurants, not to travel, not to get nice things, not to even get a car. It was a lot of hard work to really save up. I had to, work on weekends, do restaurant jobs, but it was kind of sad to see all my internship savings kind of go into thin air and I blew it up on options. And that's kind of where I started to learn a lesson that, just because you're having some short-term pain does not mean that you should give up, okay? If you have a belief that you think you can achieve something, you should keep chasing that, dream and keep going for it. Even if you're not seeing the best results right away, that doesn't always happen, right? You don't always see good results right away. For me, my first 2 years of option trading didn't go so well. But then later on, as I continued to learn and I finally got an internship at Goldman Sachs, which started to change my life because that salary was enough for me to finally go on some trips, rent some Airbnb, see different cities a little bit. Once I started to actually get some income, not only was I able to kind of relax a little bit about my finances, but it also made my trading a lot easier. I started to understand that Goldman Sachs people and the clients that are, at the bank are really looking to preserve their wealth. And that's kind of when I was thinking, well, I don't really have any wealth, so what do I have to preserve? But then as I read more articles, I started to realize that, most people and most retail traders, they're just going and buying options and their win rate is like 30%, 25%. Even when they have a really big gain, they still end up losing way more money than they're gaining. And at first, my first 2 years, I was literally trying to follow, Carl Icahn, David Einhorn, Warren Buffett. None of those people really work, because first of all, a lot of investors on Wall Street are actually not getting the best returns. A lot of hedge funds, although they're rich, they're actually getting rich because they're taking other people's money and taking fees on that money, whether they perform or they don't perform. And for me, I had to perform because it's my own money, right? I wanted to grow my wealth. I don't have the luxury of taking other people's money and then taking a cut from them, right? That's pretty much what financial advisors do. And I actually really didn't like that business model either because financial advisors, when they take a 1% fee, they don't even invest your money very well. I've seen that a lot of advisors will just put their clients' money into the S&P or some very simple index funds. So I really don't understand why would someone give their money to a financial advisor that doesn't really know what they're doing. And in most cases, financial advisors are not even rich people to begin with. They're other 9-to-5ers that have a job, and most of their job is sales, where they're having to cold call and find clients. So in my opinion, I never really understood why people would go to financial advisors unless you have absolutely no investing experience at all. But then again, that's what my channel is about, teaching you how to trade. So you can just find something online for free, right? You can just watch YouTube videos and learn for free. Not really sure why financial advisors would still be in existence other than making people feel like they're getting, good service, right? So financial advisors can be nice, but their performance and their returns, in my experience, have not been that great. So throughout college, I realized that after working for Goldman Sachs that I can't really depend on someone else. I can't just give someone else money and be like, hey, trade for me. No one does that, okay? If they say that they do that, they're typically scamming, lying, or a hedge fund. And hedge funds don't really have the best performance. Some do, but honestly, most don't. And then also to become a hedge fund client, you usually need to be an accredited investor, which means that you need about $1 million to get started. So that was kind of out of the books. I'm like, I can't really rely on someone else. I really have to rely on myself. And that's where I had my third internship. I was a quant. I was basically like looking a lot at numbers and financials and starting to understand momentum, EPS, starting to understand data at a deeper level. So all my experiences combined basically led me to understand that option selling is the way to go, high quality stocks is the way to go, and then not being a gambler, really focusing on being like a casino. That's how I like to say it because for me, I'd rather make, $100 or $200 a day than see huge swings in my portfolio. So eventually I started to understand this and my journey got a lot easier because from there I was able to grow steadily. I still didn't have a lot of money, probably graduated. I was doing pretty good actually. I might have had like 30, 40 grand by the time I graduated. And from there, my goal was just to keep growing that 30, 40 grand. I graduated in 2018, got a job at IBM because I was pretty tired of finance jobs. Honestly, felt a lot like a scam. Almost every single financial advisor is just cold calling, sales, marketing sales. It's like their product is financial, but most of their job is not looking at stocks. I didn't feel like they understood. So I didn't feel like I could learn any more from financial advisors or working in a front office environment. Okay, in a back office environment, I've already had that experience. I didn't really feel like I wanted to analyze stocks. To be honest, that can get also really boring, and it's not like you can get rich off of analyzing stocks. And by the way, the biggest issue about working for a bank is even if you're a genius and you know what to buy, what to sell, which pretty much happened to me. I started to find stocks like Nvidia, like 12 bucks per share when I was back in college. And I told the fund manager, you should buy this stock. He listened to me. He was managing like 9 billion. He made a small position, probably was like $90 million position, went up like 20%. He made like $18 million, not for himself, for the fund, right? I was like, wow, I have great ideas. And he's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter because I can't trade. If you work for a bank, there's lots of regulations that you can't trade. So I couldn't even invest in my own ideas. Like, what's the point of working for a bank? I can't even trade. So I'm like, okay, I don't really want to work in finance anymore. Once I left college, I'm like, I want to invest my money. I want to grow my wealth. I don't want to sit there and just analyze stocks all day and not even be able to invest in them. So I ended up working for IBM. I was a tech consultant and ended up doing some traveling around the States. Really didn't enjoy it. Didn't feel like I was really going in the direction I wanted because I was still kind of glued to investing. I just didn't have the capital yet to do full-time trading. So it took me some time until I actually got my portfolio, higher, above 6 figures, obviously. Like, no one's going to retire on 50K. Like, let's just be honest. If you have that dream, it's a little bit unrealistic. It takes time. It's a journey. You're not going to become rich overnight and you're not going to turn 50K into 50 million. That's just not going to happen. The stories out there are usually advertisements or just people selling you the get rich quick dream, okay? And I never really believed in that. I always thought that you have to work hard and you have to work for a very long time. And I was ready to put in like a decade into trading. And here I am, year 9. And I was able to grow from 30, 40K. I kept adding more money into my portfolio, got to 6 figures. And then finally, I started to understand how to use spreads. So basically during Tesla's rise, I started doing put credit spreads, absolutely killing it, like 20% a week in many weeks. I finally got my portfolio from 100K to 700K. And that was literally like the best year I ever had. It was 7x return. I was super, super happy. I was super proud of myself too, because that amount of wealth is pretty insane considering that before I had 100K, I had 30. Before I had 30, I had like 0, right? So all those years before, when I was like 24 and under, literally just living on like Chipotle, living at my parents' house, like making no money. And my goal was just, hopefully I can retire by 50. Hopefully I can start traveling the world. I just wanted to see new places, right? It's kind of annoying when you are just in one city for a very long time. You've been to every restaurant in that city eventually. You've seen everything. You know everyone. And it's in some ways it's very good because you get a community feel. But in other ways, if you're just in one city for your whole life, you don't really get to expand your knowledge. You don't get to expand the travel bug. So I really had a bug to see more of the world, see more cultures, see more people. Luckily, I've been able to do that. Once I got my trading consistent, I finally decided that at 700K, I would go full time. I could have went full time a little bit before that, but I was just really afraid. I was afraid and had a lot of doubt. Is trading something that's consistent? Is it something that's stable? Sure, I got a big result, but is it something that I can do long term? And I'm very happy to report that I am able to make consistent income. If I'm investing and mostly selling options, things have been really good. Things have been stable and I've been able to continue growing my portfolio. And that's when I decided to leave Philadelphia because all my income was online. I ended up quitting IBM because I was not a good fit for being an employee. I'm more of a fit for like trading my own money or teaching. I also really enjoy teaching. Something that I've never talked about on this channel is I actually started a math tutoring company. So I started to tutor children in mathematics because I wanted some income. I didn't want to fully depend on trading. And also I just love tutoring and teaching. Again, I wanted to kind of be like a doctor at first. So for me, like teaching kids was like giving back. I felt amazing about myself and all these kids were benefiting. They were getting better grades. So it was like a blessing. For me, I loved it. But eventually I said, I got to leave Philadelphia. So I ended up flying down to Colombia, where I am now, but I've been to more countries than that. So I went down to Colombia and just kept trading. And then I started growing this YouTube channel. And by the way, guys, I really appreciate it, for liking a video and just for being subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, you know what you got to do. You got to subscribe. But I'm just super thankful for you guys because trading has truly changed my life. It's allowed me to make consistent income. It's allowed me to travel. It's allowed me to stop being that broke kid, stop having to like rely on other people. It's helped me rely on myself and helped me become financially independent. I think it's totally possible for anyone. And if you don't have a lot of money, I don't think you really need to. I think everyone's journey has to start somewhere. As long as you have a long-term mindset, as long as you're not in that gambler mentality, as long as you have the understanding that this is going to take some time, this is going to take some work, I think you can do it. In fact, I know you can do it, okay? If you're watching this video right now, I know you can do it because you're already taking action. You're taking action and steps to better your future. And honestly, I really appreciate that, because not only are you giving me the opportunity to help you, I also want people to prosper in the world. I really celebrate when other people make money. For me, it's great, right? Why would I want people to be in pain? I mean, I've been to a lot of countries. For example, I went to Ukraine, and in Ukraine now, there's a lot of problems there, and there's, issues. And for me, I don't like to see that. I want to see the world have a lot of peace. I want the world to prosper, because I want us all to move forward on this planet. I want people to be happy. I want us to grow in technology. And all of those things are very important. And I think we all have to start from ourselves. It's hard to just help other people at first. First, we have to help ourselves. If we're happy with ourselves, our health is in order, then the next step is really to make money. And with that money, you can do good things. You can change your life, your family life, but please think bigger, guys. Think bigger. When you do start making that income from trading, from your business, right? Start doing good things with it. Start giving back, okay? It's really important to evolve, prosper, and give back to a community, okay? So I really encourage you, because I've been to a lot of countries, and some countries, they don't have it that well off, right? In fact, most countries outside of US, some of the countries are having a lot of problems. So, Ukraine, I've been there, and also then I went to Georgia, I went to Turkey, I went to Portugal, and I went all over Europe. By the way, the food is just amazing. Like, let me know, guys, what is your favorite food? Can you give me a comment down below? What food do you like? As you can see on the screen right here, just so many dishes that I've tried. In Portugal, the food was amazing. In Georgia, the food was awesome. Just so much good food, so much good travel. And that's what option trading really did for me, okay? So for me, trading in a consistent manner allowed me to focus on that income, right? Because I don't want to make 10,000 one day and the next day I lose it all, right? I want to make sure that I'm getting, $500, $1,000 a day. And then with that money, I can see other cultures. I can help other people. I can go to different countries. So what I want to encourage you to do is do more trading, more traveling, live the life that you want, and also make sure that you focus on a bigger goal, not just on yourself, but the people around you. Thanks so much if you're subscribed to this channel. If you're not, make sure that you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.